My guest today is Zoe Freeman. Zoe is the director and founder of ZF Web, a boutique web services company specializing in bringing small, medium and corporate businesses to the web. ZF Web provides clients with plain speak advice, support and service. Her approach to business is to leave the technobabble out of creating an online presence and demystifying websites for her clients. Our topic is cloud computing and why it's good for business. Hello, Zoe.
Hi, Robin.
So, cloud computing, what is it and why should we give a damn?
Okay, well, before I sort of talk about what it is, it's important to know that there's a few different terms for what is essentially the same thing. Cloud computing is really also known as web-based software, sometimes software as a service, and occasionally called on-demand software. And
Right.
It all kind of means the same thing, which is that it's software that lives on the web instead of on your computer.
Okay, so cloud computing kind of embraces all of it, but there's a number of other descriptions.
It's also characterised by being usually subscription based, so instead of paying a big, $2,000 for Photoshop, you pay $30 a month per user.
Right.
So it's really great for business in that way because it helps with your cash
So what
flow.
is it?
What is it? Well, basically, it's a pretty overarching term, but it does cover any kind of software that usually you'd install on your hard drive of your computer and use, but instead that software kind of lives on the web. So a classic example is a product called Sasu, which is web-based accounting software. So usually you have your MYOB or Quicken file, you have it installed on your computer. If your accountant needs that file, you have to email off the company file. If your bookkeeper needs it, they have to email it back. You're all working on potentially different versions at the same time, and you can't all work on it at the same time. Now, by having a web-based version of accounting software, it means that you're all working on the same file at the same time.
So the files are kept
in
the cloud,
all
as it were.
in the cloud, and that's the internet part of the term. So, and there's great advantages for that because you don't need to worry about backup. You don't need to worry about someone overriding each other's work. I mean, that's happened with me prior with a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
You're all working virtually in the same space.
You say you don't worry about backup because it's all being automatically backed up
I mean, really,
on the web.
by paying that subscription service, and this is where the software as a service term starts to make a bit more sense. You're paying for the IP of the intellectual property of the software.
Yeah.
You're paying for the service that comes with it, which is usually packaged in support, and you're paying for all that infrastructure and backup and all the things that usually you have to worry about on a very small scale in your own office.
Yeah.
It's all being done on a big scale, and you're just a small part of that with all the other
Terrific.
customers.
Okay, so you've got some key points for us, I think, things to look out for. So what are they?
Well, a lot of people, they don't really realise, but they've been using working in the cloud for some time. If you've used Hotmail,
I've been working in the clouds for years.
Yeah. If you've been using webmail, for example, I mean, webmail, though usually free, it is essentially the same model. Instead of having Outlook on your computer, your email lives out there on the internet.
So Hotmail, Gmail, all examples of that.
And Google's a really good place to start because Google's really leading the way on providing usually free, especially for the more entry point level products, free and fantastic software, and they're specialising more and more in providing those solutions for business.
Yep. So examples would be Google Docs, Gmail, as you said.
Gmail, I mean, even your calendar. I mean, so usually you'd carry around a book, or you might have a program on your computer in Outlook or iCal. By using Google Calendar, it means that right now I could find out what my next meeting is from any computer that's hooked up to the internet in this office.
Okay. Okay, so next little tip or pointer for us.
Well, once you sort of start with the little things like email and calendar, and if you're looking for more involved software, I guess, to use in your business, it's important to really look at your processes before you go out and find products.
Okay, so don't find a product and try and make it fit. Work out what you want and then find the product.
So, for example, we're currently looking for a new customer relationship management tool or a customer database that will be web-based. Before we go out and find that, what we're doing is we're keeping a spreadsheet, we're keeping it on Google Docs, so it's still in the cloud, but it's not specialised to the purpose that we need. So that we can work out what fields, what sort of headings we want.
Okay, so you're building up the kind of background so that you know when you find the right thing, you know what you want it to do.
Exactly.
So do that first, don't go looking. Okay, what's your next point?
then once you sort of know what you're looking for, it's very important to research. This is quite a new type of software relative to things like Word and Excel, and unlike Word and Excel and the Mac, say the Mac equivalents, so pages and numbers, there's not sort of 2 or 3 choices. There's hundreds. And so it's really important to find one, not only that's going to work for you, but that the business is going to be around. So
yes,
you know,
okay.
there's lots of
so do some good research. Presumably this is the kind of thing that would be spoken about in forums as well. You can get some user sort of experiences and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. So and knowing those, looking across those 4 terms that it's called is really important too, because different companies will refer to themselves as different things.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we've talked about processes, we've talked about research.
Well, this is definitely my big soapbox issue is due diligence.
Right.
Like with any software that you're going to invest in, it might seem not a lot because you're paying monthly rather than this big outlay. Yeah. But make sure you pilot the software. Make sure you start
give it a road
using
test.
And run it in parallel with the systems you've already got. That means that if there's a key feature or a key flaw with the program, it's not too late to go back to your existing systems.
Okay, so don't kind of delete all the files.
Yeah, and we have a situation with where, you know, with our customer, content management system. Yeah. I'm trying to expand my acronyms for you.
Content management system for a website, in other words.
Yeah, where we set up a trial for people to make sure that they're doing their own due diligence on the software. We recommend it. We think it's great. But
then you say, right, go and have a go.
At the end of the day, it's your responsibility to make sure it's going to work for your business.
Okay, you've got another point for us, I think.
Yep. On my last point is really to start small. So it sort of goes back to Google Docs. Start with the stuff that's really free or cheap. Get used to the idea of working in the cloud. I mean, there's so many advantages, and you'll start to see those very quickly. But don't go out for the big $1,000 a year products when you know you can probably find some free or very affordable ones. And again, get used to the idea, get your processes, and make sure it's what you really need before you implement it in your business.
And we can follow your experiences, I'm sure, on your website. You blog very regularly on there. So
as regularly as I can.
Yes, okay. All right, well, we'll make sure we put your website up. So Zoe, thank you very much for spending time with us and giving us some clarity around cloud computing. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.